Hello and welcome, everyone. We are so grateful to be here with you all on the Own It Show. And I'm so excited for our special guest, Pamela, here. And what I love so much is that we're two friends, sisters who study together in a community, who met, who live afar, and then connected and really realized that we have something to help and offer the world together. So I really wanted to have Pamela on here because it is so important for me to support the next generation because they're our future.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, guys, we're here to have Pamela help us inspire you to step into your greatness and truly create life by design. And she's got some great offers for you, but I will stop talking and let her introduce herself and tell you all about her. So, take it away, Pamela.
Thanks for having me. So my name is Pamela Simon, and I'm the founder of Divine Mindset, where I help young women ages 13 to 19. I help them to build three foundational traits: their self-acceptance, their confidence, as well as their self-esteem. Um, at Divine Mindset, we believe if you increase those three traits, those foundational traits, that you will break through your fears, you will find your voice, and you'll be able to go out and just basically go for all your dreams and goals. Right. And so we do that often. We do that with the parents as well as the girls, because we need the parents to reinforce what we're teaching, the techniques that we're teaching, so that they continue to grow up into adulthood. So that's kind of what we do. Thanks for having me.
I'm so grateful that you're here. And as a coach, I'm always like, I have so many questions. So my first stop and thought that comes to mind, and I know we didn't discuss it ahead of time, but how do those three things show up for people when they're not doing them? Like, what would be a complaint that somebody has if they don't have self-acceptance? Like, how does that show up so that
Yeah, so a lot of
times
I'm sorry. So yeah, a lot of times it shows up with comparison, right? You compare yourself to others often. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, she's great. Why can't I be like that? So it shows up a lot there. And by doing that, you're decreasing your self-acceptance and your value, and you're not you're taking in someone else's belief system. And so you have to start to look inward, find your center, find what makes you happy, and go with that. And the rest of it will kind of just fall away, right? It won't matter.
I love that. And I think that's something we all work on always through life, right? There's
Yes.
always a comparison game. It's always, am I enough? Am I, and if you can conquer that younger,
Yes.
your life will be so much more beautiful and you will accomplish things so much faster because you will go forth with confidence and courage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we want them to get early. You don't want them to be 40 or I started to get it at 25, 26 when I joined the military, because they force you to go into yourself. But I don't want them to do that. I want them to find it early and start to let all of the outside opinions fall away, and you come to your center, because at the end of the day, you're going to be with yourself forever. So your opinion should be the only opinion that matters, right? At the end of the day.
I love that. And I just wanted to add how I love how Pamela supports the parents and the children, and how I think that's so important, because we can't give children this new awareness, this new self-awareness, this new awareness of how the world works, how human conditioning and performance works, and then send them back into an environment that's not conducive to the growth and help them to understand. So we don't know what we don't know.
Absolutely.
Won't know we didn't know it.
Absolutely.
Until we learn it, right? So for a lot of parents, if you're looking to really support your child, the growth goes for both of us, right? I'm not a parent yet, but I'm an awesome aunt. But I am a stand for our youth, for every generation. And one of my number one goals is to make sure every single child is given their best chance.
Yes.
All basic needs met, obviously, but their best chance is actually understanding the human conditioning and performance, and really truly doing that inner work. It's what's not taught in school.
Absolutely.
And it's what must be done for success.
Absolutely.
And enjoyment of life, don't you think?
Absolutely. And if you start to accept yourself and start to let all the opinions and comparisons fall away, then you start to be happier because none of that stuff matters anymore, right? You're leaning into the things that you love. You're leaning into your fears to find the things that you love and to find your purpose. And so none of that other stuff matters because you don't have time for it to matter.
I love that. And I'm just going to pipe in one more thing there. So I studied, I minored in psychology in university, and I took adolescent psychology. And I literally remember where I am in the library reading the textbook and crying because I was like, if I knew this,
yes,
then
yes,
things would be very different. So guys, like, don't even underestimate the value of this kind of information. Yeah, not taught in school.
Yep.
It doesn't mean it. Think of it like this. I like to say it's like the guide for life, right? Like you have to go do that inner work to truly own your life. And nobody, when you were born, said, here's your manual to human potential and performance.
Absolutely.
They were like, here's some geography. We're going to teach you how to use your brain, learn things, but maybe not even learn them or memorize them. Like this is the toolkit that's missing for the youth.
Yes.
And what we're going to have Pamela help us here with today is about habit transformation. And I just want to preempt it by, like, I know that doesn't sound fun and exciting and sexy and like it's going to get you to where you want in life. And habits are the things that we do every single day over time that compound to give us our results.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our characteristics is our multitude of habits of who we're being all day, what we're doing, right?
Yep.
And this is, most of our habits are given to us, right? We're learned habits. So you have to, at one point in time in your life, go, okay, I'm going to stop walking around like my conditioned self, and I'm going to start creating myself. Yes. And that's where that habit transformation comes in. So Pamela's got some awesome tips for you guys about habit transformation today. And take it away, my friend.
Okay, so what I'm going to teach you, and I teach this to the girls and their parents, I have 7 success habits that I usually give, but these are base habits. And what I say are, individually, they're not a big thing, right? But as you start to add them together and become a routine and a habit, a daily habit, then they become a bigger aspect of your life and kind of what you were saying. So 2 that are that I use all the time. First is meditation and journaling. More for me, the journaling, because I'm not great at meditation. Too many things are going on in my head, but I keep trying and hopefully I'll get there one day. But meditation and journaling is important because throughout the day, you're going to have interactions and there's going to be things that happen. And sometimes you're going to run into obstacles and you have to get through and past that. And so how you do that is journal it, write it down, walk through it, try to figure out, why did this happen? Why did I feel this way? I find that it helps me to work through things and it helps me to let that thing go, right? Because you don't want to take it into your next day. If you hold on to it and you take it to your next day, then it's just going to be this thing that continues to hold on to you, right? And you're not going to get past it.
And just so how that shows up for most of us, okay? We all so we're like, oh, we don't do that. You're like, yeah, you do. We all do it. I even still do it. And I have to check myself. I'm like, by the way, Heather, you're not using your imagination for the best of the good, right? So how that shows up is something happens yesterday and maybe you didn't stand up for yourself. And so now the next day you're repeating and playing in your imagination all the ways you could have, should have, and would have stood up for yourself.
Yep.
Instead of saying, okay, I observe that this went like this. I would have preferred it to go like this. Next time I'll act like this. If I need to restore any integrity or anything or clear that situation. But guess what? Here's the coolest thing. It doesn't matter what they have to say, and it doesn't matter what you say to them. It's the work you clear with yourself.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So we have that inner voice that plays like, oh, Susie did this and she said that. And I bet you if I did this, it would. And we have like this whole, it's like a whole movie.
Yep.
right, that we create. And so I just really want people to understand, like, that voice in our head, that story, that replay that's happening of whatever was the next day, we do take it to the next day if we don't clear it. And that's what Pamela is talking about. You've
Absolutely.
got to clear it at the end of the day.
Yep.
But guess what? That energy, the emotions, the results, all of it comes back into the next day. And guess what? That's how you start your day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you don't want to do that. And the other thing that I like about journaling, is meditation or breathing or whatever, you know, you can do it throughout the day. You know, you may not be able to wait until the end of the day to clear it up.
I have my journal right here. I do it all throughout the day.
I got like thousands of journals. It's ridiculous. But, you know, sometimes you have to stop and take care of it then, because what if it happened at 8 a.m? Then you're going to be carrying it all through the day. So if you need to take a moment, take a break, walk away, write it down, breathe, step away, whatever you need to do, but clear it up so that it doesn't take hold of you and give you that bad energy. And the other thing that I like to do, and that's why the meditation and journaling is very important, to clear everything up, because then the night before I plan out every aspect of the day, and that can be different for everybody, right? There could be time blocking, you know, how your day is going to go. It could be a to-do list. I do a multitude of things. People think that I'm crazy because this is what I do. I still have, I like to write in my schedule out.
Yep. Got my paper calendar.
Yep. So on one side, I'll put my daily tasks, you know, what time I have to do meetings. And then on the other side, I put the actual to-do list. So, and it feels good to mark it off.
That's so good.
Yes. But the day before with me, I'm sorry, I dropped my pen.
That's okay.
The day before, the night before, it helps me to know and be calmer about what I'm going into the next day. And I've already cleared up the conflict, so I'm good.
Yes, I love that. So I want to add to that, because what Pamela was talking about is the clearing and cutting, and reframing, they call it in NLP, and it's like looking at your day or whatever's occurred, right? And how do you take that negative experience and rewrite it to a way that you would prefer? Because guess what? The way you experienced it, it's not the way someone else experienced it.
Absolutely.
That's your story you're telling yourself, right? So you are in charge of your thoughts. Every single thought is a choice, and no one can make you feel a certain way except for you. So the thoughts that you're thinking are making you feel a certain way. So how do we change the feeling? We have to change the thought. So then you can go back and reframe, right?
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing is that we have expectations. That we expect other people to behave a certain way, right? And when they don't, who's upset? Us.
Absolutely.
But guess what? They're not upset. They're carrying on with their life. It's all good over there.
Yep, absolutely. So you're like, what are they so happy about?
Yeah, so stop torturing yourself. I think we're our hardest critic. We have expectations. And when I realize, because I'm a little OCD, my mom is very strict. I have high expectations. And what I realized, that people don't have to live up to those. Because if I expect them to and then they don't, guess whose life's ruined and upset all the time? Mine, not theirs.
Yep.
Right? So it's really about being able to reframe the experience to a way that you can remember it. But then what will help not have those negative experiences, minding that we have expectations. Right?
And I like expectations. I like the word expectations, but I hate the way people think about expectations, because a lot of time your expectations are your internal expectations. They're never spoken.
What, you mean you didn't read my mind? You didn't know exactly what I wanted.
Exactly.
Exactly what I wanted.
They're never spoken. So if you can't speak them, or you haven't told anybody, nobody's gonna ever live up to your expectations. So
I love that. It's so true. So the next tip is like hello communication. And it's with like releasing the fear to be able to communicate.
Yep.
Right. So it doesn't matter what other people say.
And you know what the other good point about that is? Parents have a lot of expectations.
Yes.
Unspoken expectations.
Yes. You're like waiting for the kid to screw up. You're like, I expect them to, and then they don't.
Exactly. And you can't build accountability or responsibility or reinforce if you don't ever verbally give them the expectation and explain it to them, right?
That communication key again, eh?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I actually love the word expectations because one of my sayings is expect magic and miracles. And why do I say that? Is because whatever we're expecting is where our energy is directed, our attention, our assumption, as Neville Goddard calls it. So if that's what we're expecting, that's actually what we get. And that's how life works. That's how energy works. So our expectation for how we want things to turn out, we want to harvest the good and focus on what we truly desire, because a lot of the times we also use our imagination to see how we might expect things not to work out. Right. So
that's true.
Really, we really do. So I really wanted to just touch on how that's important. And then there was one more thing, but I'll come back to that. Because again, it's not so sexy. It's the habit tracker. I suggest that we track habits, and I'll explain why that is important after and why it will help. But amazing. Okay, so for why, just to like wrap it up and sum it up for everyone, like why, again, habit transformation, not so sexy, doesn't seem so great. And if you don't do it, you're not going to truly have and own your life.
Yes.
So why so much on the habits?
Habits are important, and they are cool. They can be cool because the habits that you're creating for yourself are things that you want to do, right? There are things that make you happy. They're not things that somebody else wants you to do. Those are tasks, right? The habits that you're creating are things that make you happy on a daily basis, that help you move through your day, that help you accomplish your goals and dreams. So that's why it's important, right? It may start out as a task tracker, but eventually you're going to add something in, write everything in, right? Write in exercises. That's something you like to do, write that in. Write in doing my makeup. If that's something you like to do, put it in. Write in journaling. Block times for the things, the habits and the things that you like versus just the task. And then you have things to look forward to.
I love that. There's so many tips. And I know when you were talking about like how you track your habits and how you finish your day and things like that. And I'm like, I have so many things I could help you guys with, but we'll have to save it for another day. We try to keep these short and sweet, and Pam and I like to talk, so we can be here forever. So it just means we're going to have her come back and talk about how we have our high performance habits and how we treat our day. So my last tip I just wanted to say was, I love how Pam said, review your day and reframe, right? But then plan your day the next day. So why and how I plan my day the next day is with expectancy in a way that I desire. So I call it intentional. And so I have my magical to-do list, I call it. So all the things I expect myself to achieve magically and work out perfectly. I have my actual schedule, and then I have the chunked times where I know I might work on this, or this, but in that hour, it might be these 3 things specifically that go in that task block this week, right? But not just putting a schedule, but setting the intention of how I want each one to turn out.
Yes.
Right. And so I create that expectancy, and then I get it. So I can I love it. And like, I literally create my life by design. I work with the physical and the metaphysical. And if I wake up and I'm like, you know what, today you thought you were ambitious and you're booked from 9 to 9, and that's not going to work. I want a 4-hour break in the middle of the day, and I want to go for a bike ride today. And I just have to think it. And the next thing you know, 2 clients are like, hey, by the way, can we schedule till tomorrow? I'm like, excellent. Wow. Right. So yes. If we live by intention and we live by expectancy in a way only for ourselves, not for others. Yes. Right. Yes. And we can really begin to set and create our day in a way that most people don't. So these are tools that most people don't use, and it's not common knowledge. And that's one of my favorite things about the Own It show, is to help uncommon knowledge become common. And if I had heard this when I was, say, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, like I didn't, even 20, like my life would have been altered. Yes. Right. So let's not wait till we're 30. Let's not wait till our kids are 21. Let's not wait till they're revolting or when, what have you. Let's support them. Like, we don't have to. Old school system was like, wait till something's broken and fix it.
Yes.
Doesn't work.
Nope.
Let's create from the start a system, plan, habits, all the things that work and set us up for success.
Yes.
So that we can create intentionally and not be reactionary. And that's actually living by design.
Love it.
Awesome. So Pam, let them know where they can find you, how they can work with you, and all the offers you got.
Okay. So you can find me at divinemindsetcoaching.com. You can go there, sign up and subscribe, and you will be able to get all the freebies that I have out there. Also, I have a 5-day workshop coming up, and it's called Girl, Let's Get Your Goals, Reach Your Goals. I'm sorry. And if you watch the show, you can see it in the link. It starts June 21st. It's 5 days, every day at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time in my Facebook group. So if you sign up, it'll send you straight to the group so you can sign up. And I would love to see you there. It's going to be 5 days of jam-packed stuff. But I also have a bonus day where we're giving away gifts and giveaways for those who participate and actually finish their action items. So more of an incentive to jump in because they're great things. So I hope to see you there.
Amazing. And just so you guys know, Pam's group is there to support you guys every step of the way. So even if you don't make it for that event, she does other events. So make sure we'll have the link for you to check into that Facebook group regardless. And remember, you are your common denominator of success. You are your best investment. And if you're a parent,
yes,
give your child their best chance. And this education is not taught in school.
Yes.
This is what they need. This is what I wish I had, right? So please, please, please give your children their best chance and let them step into their greatness of a life that they've designed so that they can help add a positive impact and be the world-class leaders that we need in our next generation. So thank you. Thank you, Pam, so much for being here today. And we look forward to having you back soon.
Awesome. Look forward to coming back.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, expect magic and miracles. Stay happy, healthy, wealthy, and we'll see you on the next show.